Hi, Tulsi. My name is Kathy. I'm born and raised in New Hampshire, but I live in Philadelphia, and I like your approach. Visiting my dad. Um, I like your approach to working with others, especially those who you might disagree with or who have a different label than you. In Philadelphia, I help to run a depression support group. It's completely free and open to anyone in Philadelphia, and we do it about once a week, and we serve people all over the city. So I was just wondering your thoughts about mental health policy and just improving accessibility and removing the stigma, because that's a big problem for people who have it. It's a grant funded, and it also runs from donations.
Thank you. I'm so glad you could come tonight, and just thanks for sharing about the work that you're doing. This as we talk about health, we talk about well-being for our people. Unfortunately, mental health is still an area that is, kind of seen as taboo to talk about a lot of times. I've seen just in my personal experience with some friends of mine, people who I've served with, the challenges and the struggles that a lot of our veterans go through. First, just starting, and I think this is reflected across our society because there is such a strong stigma still, just to get to a point where someone feels comfortable enough to ask for help is a really big deal. Because there's a lot of fears and insecurities there, whether it's about your job or for us is, the military, you're going to get a red flag in your file. It's going to stop you from being able to get the assignment that you want or whatever the case may be. That's something that is we as a society need to change, and to be able to have the kind of conversations wherever we are about this. As we're checking in on our friends and family, that we're not just saying, well, hey, let's go make sure that your body is healthy, get a physical checkup once a year or whatever it is, but how is your mental health, and seeing that and treating that in our healthcare system as one and the same, that we're physical, spiritual, mental health and well-being is treating the health and well-being of the whole person. And as we are doing so, focusing on prevention as well. I think the shortage that we have of providers all across our country is a huge, huge problem. I'm grateful for the work that you guys are doing, because you're filling a gap that exists for a lot of folks who may not have the means or the ability to be able to get the help that they're looking for, and saving lives in the process. I hear a lot from teachers and people who are working in our schools about how they have far too few school counselors or anyone with any kind of mental health expertise or professionals to be able to help take care of kids, even as we were seeing more and more kids coming to school dealing with, they're struggling and need help. And too often the answer is just like, okay, well, here's a prescription drug, here's a prescription drug, here's a prescription drug, leading, whether it's our kids or other people, to a place of just living a medicated life, rather than really trying to get to the root cause of the problems that they're struggling with, and seeing, okay, well, here are a number of options to help you get through that. The kind of conversation we need to have in this country exists around that. How do we get to the root cause of the problem and just help each other through it? From a government perspective, there is an incredible shortage of resources actually being dedicated to this. And again, more often than not, the resources that do exist just go towards more prescription medication, when I think that's, it may sometimes be necessary, but that should not be the first answer. I know for some of my friends who've come home, they have actively told their doctors at the VA, no, I don't want medication. I don't want to numb the pain. I really want help. But then they're not given really the help that they need. And too often then they're given highly addictive opioid medication and other things that we're seeing not just in the military, but across our society, where that's led us to creating this epidemic that has and continues to ravage and take so many people's lives.
One over here.